All right, take it away on the intro.
Are we having this?
We forgot. I forgot how we did the intro.
I feel like that happened last time too.
Yeah. Welcome back, comic review. That's not what we were calling it. What were we calling it?
We never had a name established.
Comic review. It's now comic review.
Yep, comic review time.
Today we're talking about
Godzilla versus Spider-Man this time.
Yes, the
Third
in the series.
The third installment of the Godzilla takes on the Marvel Universe.
Not to be confused with the series that's started to release. Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe.
That's for a later time.
Yes, we're waiting for that whole run to come out before we do it.
Yeah.
So, shoot. You know what's funny? We actually wrote down.
We did.
Pull out your phone.
So Joe Kelly is the current writer of the current Spider-Man run, and he's the one that does this one around. Nick Bradshaw is the artist on this one. Mm-hmm. Not too. I know he's done other very different works within Marvel, but they're more mainline than as compared to some of these other ones where we've had previous writers come back to do it. This one's just the current Spider-Man writer is doing this story.
I was going to say in our DMs, I think I DM'd you a note of the things we forgot to cover in the last one that we talked about wanting to cover.
Yeah.
Let me abandon the frame for a moment. All right.
To introduction to what we each do, creative team who did the comic rating out of 5.
So I'm here to talk about the Godzilla aspect. As you've seen on this channel, I sometimes talk about kaiju related things. This is my Marvel consultant. Ooh, that sounds professional.
I don't have that title yet.
My resident expert on Marvel comics. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. What was the other two things? Authors? We already mentioned that.
Yeah, we mentioned authors. So this is the Spider-Man comic takes place during the time where the symbiote has just bonded with Spider-Man. So it's during the short-lived Black Suit era.
Yes. In fact, our first page opens up with that. Oh wait, spoiler-free review, real quick. You remember how this one went?
Yeah. I thought it was good.
We're out of 5, by the way.
Yeah, out of 5.
2 for me.
2?
2.
I'll give it 2.5.
I'll get into why more into the spoiler-tastic review.
I think it was slightly better than the 2.
Maybe. Okay, so, but if, like we always say, if you're doing half points, you might as well review out of 10. And it's not a 3. Because I gave some of the previous ones a 3. And this is, in my opinion, just by nature of when it came out, lower.
Okay.
Okay, so into the now spoiler. Oh,
well, would
you recommend reading it?
If you're a fan of earlier Spider-Man, then yes.
Yeah, actually, I think it has a lot of Easter eggs for earlier.
Yeah,
for 90s Spider-Man.
If you're modern Spider-Man, if you're a modern comic Spider-Man, it's not going to be your beat because most of the people within the Spider-Man community always have a gripe with today's comics.
Okay, so it's simply a matter of you won't like it because Spider-Man fans don't like anything. Is what I'm hearing.
You're telling me.
Okay, all right.
The Godzilla aspects, where does it draw from?
Okay, so this is, honestly, it's kind of a somewhat original Godzilla design. Not original, but it doesn't really pull from any specific films. I guess it sort of resembles the Heisei era. But this is kind of what I expected from all of these comics, where, yeah, if you look at this one, the sort of face is very Heisei style, where it has some inspirations, but it's definitely not like the Hulk one was a very specific suit, right?
Yeah.
This one, not so much. This is, like I said, has inspiration from the Heisei era suit, but it's more original, and some elements like the sort of lighter color on the chest and the way that the stomach is actually remind me of the Godzilla design in Godzilla's Singular Point, which we'll get into a little bit more later. Outside of that, I don't know, it almost resembles Baby Godzilla from the Heisei era in some of these. But yeah, that would be the the 80s and into the 90s.
Yeah, which
for Godzilla.
Checks out with what we got going on here on the Spider-Man side.
Yeah, which actually is pretty interesting. Now, I wonder if that's an intentional parody. Anyway, now we've covered everything and we can talk about the spoiler review, right? Okay.
Yeah, now we can go and...
So just right off the bat to keep you so you're not, sitting in suspension, all 3 of you watching this. This one gets a 2 from me because it does the same thing that every comic in this series to this point has done. Spider-Man and Godzilla meet, they fight, Spider-Man gets his ass kicked, then they have to team up.
And then
and fight a secondary big bad.
And then a bonding at the end happens.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, because there is some really cool stuff in this comic. Don't let this dissuade you. There's some really cool stuff. So we start. Spider-Man. What's he doing? He's swinging through the city doing Spider-Man things in his black suit, right? Anything to say there? Who's this dude he's fighting?
Shocker.
Shocker has a kind of a fishnet design. Whatever.
Yep.
It's typical Spider-Man stuff.
He's the typical Spider-Man punching bag villain.
Yep. The notable thing here is let's see. He runs into Black Cat. He's still sort of learning about the black suit, right?
Yeah, because he had just gotten it from Battle World.
Yeah, he mentions that. And then, so one of the gimmicks of this comic is it has these little yellow boxes that...
Some of them are accurate, some of them are not.
Right, but what do they do? These, they tend to...
So during this time period, a lot of the series were interconnected with each other. So in a way, instead of having to recap everything, a lot of the writers would just put little asterisk and in the corner be like, see this comic for more information. That way we don't have to you spend a whole page recapping this one event,
right,
which could be a little snippet. Go read on your own.
Right. So these are just little author's notes.
Yes.
And at some points they actually mention things that happen, and at some points it's just a little joke from the author.
Yep.
In this comic at least. So Spider-Man's doing Spider-Man things. He's fighting Shocker. He's flirting with Black Cat. He's getting yelled at by J. Jonah Jameson. I mean, that all happens just here. It's a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla shows up. What? Who could have seen this coming? And then you're never going to guess what happens. Spider-Man finishes off Shocker. He swings in to fight Godzilla. Oh, he talks to Mary Jane. Minorly interesting thing that happens is Mary Jane and Black Cat meet and they're about to fight, but then Spider-Man's like, guys,
no, it's not the
chill
time.
out. I'm two-timing both of you, but chill out right now. I gotta go fight Godzilla. Godzilla, rips one of the Spider-Man's, web lines.
At this point, it's not necessarily that he's two-timing. It's that Mary Jane and Peter had just recently broken up for the first time around, and Felicia's the rebound, or Black Cat's the rebound. And this is kind of their interaction.
Well, Mary Jane's very upset to hear her call Peter lover.
Yes. Because while MJ still has feelings, it was just at the time it was best for them to go the separate ways for a bit.
Yeah. But they're having this argument on this rooftop as Godzilla looms in on them.
Yep.
Relatable Spider-Man problems, having two absolute baddies fight over you. Am I right? I mean, that happens to everybody, doesn't it? No, that's the joke, is that what college nerd has had two, I feel like the whole, anyway. To me, I think this is definitely the beginning of them not knowing how to write Spider-Man's personal life. This is my comic opinion as someone who's not super comic educated, but they're like, yeah, what if we put him in this absurd situation? Anyway, Godzilla's looming down. He snaps one of Peter's things, and then he roars, and what? It rips off the symbiote because it's susceptible to loud noises.
Sonics.
Oh, well. Okay. Like vibrations?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's enough to...
between Sonics and fire.
Okay.
Those are the two main weaknesses of a symbiote.
Loud noises. Anyway, that happens, and then the symbiote pops off. Peter steals a little of somebody's laundry, and what's going on? The symbiote attaches to Godzilla, and then you get, what do they call it?
They establish it at the end. They didn't establish it here yet.
Okay. But I think that the way that... So, first of all, I didn't even notice that before, actually. Here's the design. Instead of having the spider in the chest, it has, Godzilla on the chest. I don't know how well you can see this. We gotta get a thumbnail. All right. I always just screen cap it from the video. And anyway. So yeah, that's Godzilla gets venomized, basically. The design is cool. The way that the mouth, you can see here, it goes way further back. That also reminds me of the Godzilla singular point design. Oh, and the way that the plates are, they're sort of white. The dorsal plates are just sort of white plate thing. Godzilla Singular Point was the Netflix anime that came out a couple of years ago.
Gotcha.
It was pretty good, but it was written by a genuine physicist. And so some of the concepts are a little bit lofty. It's about the physics of genuinely gets into some of the physics of parallel universes and the theoretical. It's ridiculous. And maybe he's a theoretical physicist. I don't know. The guy is he's kind of weird, but he writes an okay story.
Okay.
Um, who's this dude?
That's Null.
Okay,
Null
this
is like in the symbiote lore. He's kind of like their main person. But interesting though is that the Null lore and all that wasn't established until 2018 and stuff like that, and they're tying it into now because they're getting to the point where Venom, they see him as a potential main player in the Marvel universe, so they want to establish the lore of the symbiotes going forward.
Right, okay. So they show him here, and it seems like he deliberately sent Venom to Earth to actually try and get Godzilla. It says, a wordless connection ensues between the king of the monsters and the guy, the mysterious dude known as the King of Black. He's got that tight sword. That's pretty cool. Anything else to say about that?
No.
Anyway, Venomized Godzilla starts messing it up. Here's Peter's improvised costume. You've seen it once. You've seen it before, that kind of thing. And then he steals Shocker's surfboard disc thing, and he puts on his OG costume.
Yep.
Um,
Where does he get that? They never
well,
established.
he just beat up Shocker, so presumably just on a
No.
costume.
His own
costume.
original costume.
Yeah, he had time to go home and change, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And then he punches Godzilla so hard the symbiote comes off.
Well, yeah, because using the Shockers.
Oh right, yeah, yes, that's right. He uses Shocker's gauntlets too. I forgot about that. He stole those. The symbiote comes off. He falls down. Godzilla catches him, which is actually interesting. That is in the first Gamera movie. Gamera does that. Catches, like, he's knocking down this tower and then catches a little boy, and that becomes really important for Gamera's development. Gamera becomes like friend of all the children, rival Godzilla kaiju, like different company created him. It's the whole thing. Marvel and DC situation, but if like hardly anybody actually liked DC, because like the Gamera fan base significantly smaller. He hasn't had a movie in like 20 years. Anyway, Godzilla catches Spider-Man, and then they have to fight just the symbiote. What? Crazy. This fight doesn't last very long.
No.
All of 2 pages. Here's the start of it, okay? Here's to get him defeated. All right, yep, he gets atomic breath.
Yep.
All right. Also, Godzilla rips out his tongue. Next, Godzilla and Spider-Man come to an uneasy peace. Godzilla leaves. Well, yeah, I mean, we kind of told you what happened. The final most interesting thing here to me that happens, Eddie Brock stumbles upon the symbiote, and he becomes God Venom. What? That's actually kind of a cool design. Unlike the Godzilla Hulk, I like this one. It's interesting. It's cool. I think the name is a little dumb. I would have gone with Venomzilla. Not that that's that much better. I sure hope we see this guy again. We won't be seeing this guy again. There's no way.
Perhaps.
Well, the author's note says, but that is a story for another time. So
Just leave it on a cliffhanger, but they probably won't touch upon it.
no, probably not. So yeah, that's what happens when in Spider-Man.
Yeah, when Spider-Man faces off against Godzilla.
Honestly, it's nothing to write home about. I don't think it was that good. 2 out of 10. Or sorry, 2 out of 5.
I think going through it again,
4 out.
I can see why it would be a 2.
Yeah, like it was whatever. It doesn't. I guess the little yellow boxes are a nice nod to Spider-Man history.
Well, that's just the comics of that time. That's
Okay.
more than just Spider-Man. That was with all of the comics.
That's a fun touch.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have any of the alt covers, so I can't show them to you. I was going to do that, but yeah, this one doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other closing thoughts on that?
No.
Yeah. Not a whole lot going on in this one. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Next up, we got
X-Men.
Godzilla versus the X-Men. How's it gonna go?